So I have two senior INEC officials here in the studio with me to give you a sense of all these and what more you can ask your frequently asked questions on voter registration. I have joining me INEC National Commissioner in charge of voter education and publicity, Mr. Festus Okoye. Thank you so much, Mr. Okoye, for joining us.
Thank you.
And a member of the Institute of Engineers, the director of ICT at INEC, Engineer Chidi Nwafo. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
It's rare to bring you out like this. Whenever I meet you where you're operating your computers and all your gadgets, but yes, it's good to have you out here. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming. Before we get into the matter of the major conversation tonight, let's clear some controversial issues. I saw the way you sighed and you breathed because these are very major controversies. First and foremost, let's take it from the PDP. Which of the primaries did INEC monitor, sir?
Well, as of today, the monitors from the national headquarters who joined some of our staff from the Anambra State Office have not submitted their report. But as you know, our processes and our procedures are very clear. We monitor the primaries as directed by the National Executive Committee of the party. So it is that directed by the National Executive Committee of the party that our monitors ought to monitor because they are the ones who gave us the statutory notice required for the conduct of their party primaries. But more fundamentally, you must realize that the conduct of party primaries and the nomination of candidates are things that are within the domestic realm of the political parties. So we expect political parties to follow their guidelines, follow their rules, follow their procedures in the conduct of their party primaries. And if they fail to follow their rules, or if they violate the provisions of their own constitution, their own guidelines, then this section 87 of the Electoral Act and section 285, subsection 14, of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria now comes into play. But more fundamentally, political parties are supposed to also use their own internal mechanisms to resolve whatever challenges they have and then submit the name of a validly nominated candidate to the commission as the candidate of the party for the governorship election.
All right, because we will obtain the one that you certify is what we will go home with. But there are a lot of confusion. But I just wanted to take one after the other. Right. So let's get some clarity again from you on the matter of PDP. There is a legal issue. Was INEC joined in the matter? Because you're talking about delegate lists, and some of them are asking who should be the right leadership to conduct a primary. But you said is the NWC because it's the national organ of the party that conducts governorship primaries. So were you joined in the legal matter concerning the PDP?
Most of the matters, even involving political parties, involving their domestic issues, they normally join the commission. And the commission wrote to the leadership of the party, telling them that we've been served with a copy of the court order, and that they have a responsibility to comply with the decision of the court. So we were joined.
Did the PDP duly inform you about their primaries of yesterday?
Yes.
Which of them informed you?
Well, you see, what happens is that when a political party is ready to conduct party primaries, they write a letter to the commission in accordance with Section 85 of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended, informing the commission of their resolve and desire to conduct their party primaries. So based on that, the commission will now assemble a team to go and monitor the party primaries as directed by the National Executive Committee of the party.
So it was only one primary that INEC monitored in Anambra yesterday?
Well, I don't have, these primaries took place yesterday. So we have to wait and get a report from both the resident electoral commissioner for Anambra State and the monitors that went to Anambra from the national headquarters.
Is it possible that your officials may have monitored two primaries from the same political party?
It's a possibility. We can monitor two primaries, and at the end of the day, make a determination on which of the primaries was validly conducted. Yes, we can.
So another matter is the issue of the delegate. The Electoral Act provides the window through which you need to supply the notice first, then the delegate list.
Yes.
Did PDP follow through the process?
Well, as at today, as at now, I'm not in a position to really comment on the processes and procedures that was followed. But all I know is that, one, the conduct of party primaries in relation to political parties is done in accordance with their own constitution. The constitution of the party will set out in very clear details who is qualified to vote in a primary election and who is not qualified to vote. It will also set out in clear terms with the venue for the conduct of the party primaries and so on. And so what the law says is that when you want to conduct your party primaries, you make sure that you follow the dictates of your own constitution and also the guidelines as enunciated by the National Executive Committee of the party. At the end of the day, what we expect is that the candidate that emerged from the validly conducted party primaries will be the person who will be forwarded to the commission as the candidate of the party.
So, because you don't quite have the answers for us now, because you said you're still waiting for the reports and from the state.
Yes.
But for the APC, their own matters are of the process and internal process, from what you saw today,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes. As I said, the conduct of party primaries and who becomes the candidate of the party is within their own domestic realm.
But in conformity with the Constitution and the Electoral Act, and also in guidance and supervision from INEC, is that not?
Yes, I agree. But more fundamentally, what happens is that when they finish the conduct of their party primaries, some of the political parties have their own internal dynamics. They have an appeal process. If you are not satisfied with what has happened, you can appeal within the realm of the political party. Now, if any member of the party is aggrieved by the outcome of the processes, the person can utilize the provisions of Section 87 of the Electoral Act or Section 285, subsection 14 of the Constitution to go and ventilate his or her grievances.
All right,
so that is it.
Yeah, the PDP's matter seems to be a bit different. There were somewhat, what you can refer to as parallel primaries that held, but the APC, they are aggrieved aspirants who are not happy with the process.
Yes.
And so to just end this part of the conversation, there is not a possibility because of the amendment that we have a pre-election matter run into the election, because there is enough window for all of these processes to be concluded. I'm asking this because of what we saw in Zamfara, what we saw in Bayelsa, what we saw in Rivers, and what we saw also in Imo State.
There is a possibility that it will dovetail into the election proper. This is because if you look at Section 285 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, especially the amendment that was brought into being by the fourth alteration to the Constitution, it gives an aggrieved individual a period of 14 days from the date of the cause of action, from the day the cause of action arose, to approach the cause. But it also gives the court of first instance 180 days to make a determination. And then the court of second instance
and the court of third instance that's the sad news.
Has the 60.
Because some of us have always prayed for an election that litigation will be less. People can ventilate. But look, when all of these court issues, there's a way it messes up with the atmosphere. Elections are supposed to be festivals of our democracy. But look, let's leave that. That's another story for another day. What excites me this hour is the CVR, which starts tomorrow in earnest at every state of the Federation, isn't it?
Yes.
But you have a concern about security. Is there a state where you will not be starting tomorrow?
As far as the commission is concerned, as at tomorrow, what we are going to roll out is the online voter registration exercise. So wherever you are, you can log into the portal and then begin your pre-registration. So that's what is going to happen tomorrow. Now, this will go on up to the 19th day of next month. That is July. Then from the 19th day of next month, we will now get into the second stage. Those who have done their pre-registration online will now have an opportunity of going to our state office or the local government office to go and complete their biometrics. Now, those who do not have smartphones, do not have computers and so on, and who did not participate in the online registration, they can also go to the state office of the commission or the local government office to begin their process. Now, all the resident electoral commissioners are evaluating the challenges we have in each of the 774 local governments. And as you know, there are some of our offices that we are burnt or vandalized during the NSAS protest. There were some that had challenges with some of the elections we had. And then there were some that also had challenges recently on account of the general insecurity in the country. So we are going to evaluate all these things. Where it is impossible to commence the voters' registration exercise on the 19th day of July, the resident electoral commissioner for that particular state, together with the electoral officers, are going to evaluate the situation and make a determination on what to do, where it is possible to commence the registration and where it's not possible to commence the registration. But we are hopeful and we are confident that in majority of the local governments, we can commence the registration on the 19th day of July 2021. And we are confident that every registrable Nigerian will have an opportunity of being registered. And
so one of the questions I've always asked INEC, why do you stagger this thing? Why don't you make it permanent such that if I 18 today, I can just walk into any voting area or any INEC office and register? Why do you have to make it seasonal? Because it then takes the interest away from people that you have to make it seasonal. When you open that window and people are not chanced, maybe they're out of the country or they're in school and they cannot do that, why do you have to take it away and bring it back?
Well, you know, voters' registration or voter enrollment is a very expensive exercise. But we are confident that from this online registration, the way we are moving now, there's a possibility that we are slowly getting to that particular trajectory. And we are confident that as we move on, there's a possibility that this thing will now become permanent and not done on an ad hoc basis.
Okay, yes. Great. I see Engineer Nwafo that is ready for us. And on the other side of the studio, we have some other INEC officials who are going to be simulating some of the gadget for us. So, Mr. Nwafo, give us a sense of what we can do starting from tomorrow. What is the address of the portal? What can people, what would they do? Can they access it on their telephone, on their computer? How do we go about it?
Okay. From tomorrow, let's assume 7 a.m., everybody can go into our online voter registration portal, and you have a lot of things to do. You can use your phone, if your phone has the required credentials, to access the portal by having your internet. You can use your laptop, you can use your desktop. Anything you use to use your normal social media, you can use it. When I do demonstration, I will use a URL that is a test URL. The URL that you need to use is cvr.inecnigeria.org, or, and I will also give it to you later, or cvr.inec.gov.ng. Any of these two will get you to our portal. And then when you get to our portal, you see a lot of services. We have about 6 services that you can access. What we have done in this online voter registration portal is to take the registration to the people. That is, you are now interacting with the machine, which means when you want to do your registration, you first interact with the machine. You want to do your transfer, you want to do even you can do review. For instance, if you have registered before and you've been having problem when you want to vote, your fingerprints are not read, you can do voter review. You get your data, look at the whole thing, and correct yourself. So some of them are processes that you can finish with the online. Some are processes that you have to complete.
So the INEC server for that is available now.
We have server to handle the online voter registration portal.
All right, because server has been a major problem. What has also been a problem is the issue of electricity. And in a lot of areas, some people have not seen electricity, have not used electricity in a while. And internet access is also another problem, considering internet penetration in Nigeria. What are you looking at in that respect, and how can people maneuver these kind of challenges?
You see, when you are designing something as an engineer, you look at your peculiarities. What are the environmental problems? So you look at the whole country and find out that you have 3 strata. First of all, those that have access to the internet, they will use online. Even if you don't have access to the internet, you can go to our offices at the state and local government, where you now do physical registration. The manual. I don't even want to call it manual because it's not manual. It's physical registration,
okay,
which means you are there. Somebody will be there to now register you. You don't need a letter. So by that, we have power in our state office. We have power in our local government. However, we also know that some people stay in the rural areas where these issues you are talking about resides. So what do? We have about 2,673 machines that we are going to rotate movement based on needs around the whole country to meet them and register them physically. So we've taken all these strata, and we are ready. And I know that we'll get a lot of people in this because we're now making it friendly, user-friendly of the registration.
All right. So let's assume that this is the objective part of it. We are going to the practical.
Yes.
For those secondary students who are watching, you have the objective and you have the practical. So everyone, stay with me, because when we come back from the break, we have some INEC officials. For those of you who want to do the physical registration, they are right here in the studio. They will simulate how this works so that it can prepare your mind. And also, Mr. Nwafo will also take us through the online portal that is there on your screen and give you a sense of what this means. We're live on that portal, and you are going to get a simulation right here on Channels Television. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. We are live from our Abuja studio here, and tonight our business is to give you what you need to know in terms of the continual voter registration that is being done by the electoral umpire, INEC. It will start tomorrow. And one thing that interests us here is the online aspect of it. Perhaps the first time we're going to be seeing this sort of thing happen in our election, where voters will be able to register online by themselves, wherever you may be. My guest tonight, Mr. Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner of INEC in charge of voter education and publicity, and Engineer Chidi Nwafo is the head of ICT at INEC. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time tonight.
Thank you.
But before I go to Mr. Nwafo, because there are 2 phases to this simulation today. The online, you will show us how the online works, and I have several questions before we now move to the other side of the divide, to then you will be able to give us a sense of how the physical aspect of this registration works. So, Mr. Okoye, in all of this registration, one big question that is on the minds of a lot of people is that if I register where I work, because that's where people have the time during the day, and on the election day, there's going to be shutdown security. People don't have the access to be able to move to their workspace to be able to vote on election day. Have you thought about allowing people the flexibility and fluidity to be able to vote wherever they want, other than being tagged to a polling unit?
Well, I think that one of the innovations that has been introduced by this new process is to give people choice, is to make available choices for them. So when he begins the demonstration, you will see that for a new voter, and as you are aware, we now have over 176,846 polling units. Now, when a new voter wants to register, the person will interact the machine, if I may borrow these words, and then interact with the machine, and then the person will be in a position to choose the polling unit where he or she feels more comfortable. So if you know that on election day there will be restriction on movement and there's a polling unit near your home, it's better for you to choose the polling unit near your home than choosing the polling unit near your workplace, because you may not have access to that particular polling unit. And even for people who have registered before, who want to transfer from one state to the other, from one local government to the other, they also have a choice of whether of the polling unit where they want to vote. So I think that this online portal has made things slightly easy for people in terms of the fact that they have that choice to choose where they want to vote.
Because you're a lawyer, I'd like you to answer this legal question.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are itching to see what the portal looks like and how it works. But just a moment, let's clear some of these issues. Is this process captured, the online registration? Because I know this has been a lot of trouble. How we can digitally monitor and conduct our election. Has this part of it been captured under our laws, under the electoral law?
Look, since 2011, the voters' register has been biometric. So we've had a voters' register that we give to political parties and so on. So there's no controversy, there's no issue relating to this. Now, what the law says is that, and this Section 10, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act, it makes it mandatory for an applicant to appear in person, physically, before in a registration venue. So what we have done is a hybrid. Start your registration online and complete your biometrics physically at the registration center or the registration venue. So I think that we've been very creative, we've been very innovative in terms of our approach to this. The country is moving on. Other parts of the world are moving on. People have gradually bringing their electoral process up to speed and up to international and regional standards. And I think that the commission should be encouraged. Nigerians should have faith in this particular commission that we are doing the right things at the right moment. And that in a few years' time, we are going to have our electoral process completely transformed.
Transformed, because the fear is that when even America is saying Russia meddled into the election. And so let's begin. And I'm hoping that no external bodies or countries can be able to enter into this portal. So, Mr. Nwafo, let's get into the practical lab and let's begin. What does it look like? Give us a practical demonstration of the portal.
Okay. If it can be shown on the screen, you will notice that because I'm using a test site,
Okay.
the real portal will be on from 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
So if for any reason one person have seen this, or you, as an IT person, you copy our URL, tomorrow you won't get it. But what you're going to see is exactly what is going to happen and stronger. So it's a test site that we've been using to do exercise. So you can see the important notice informing you that this particular website is for demonstration purposes. Once you agree with that, you just say, I understand. It welcomes you. Pictures are changing, and we try to, in our pictures explaining it, we bring the young people, old people, female, all diversity to get people get attracted to it. And then the Honorable Chairman message is there. I'm not going to read it. Tomorrow you can read it. It's long. Employing and telling Nigerians to please, that this commission is introducing Commission's online portal for the continual voter registration, and some reasons are there. Well, let's get to the services, which is very clear. If you come to the services, this online portal is trying to solve problems over the years, since 2011 till now, that we have learned. So we try to solve it, making it easier for voters. So when you go to services, for want of time, I will do some demonstrations. You have 6 services that this portal can give you. One is pre-registration, and I will explain what it is. The pre-registration is, I have not registered before, and I want to register. So for you, you go to pre-registration. And when we go to the pre-registration, you will understand, because it captures your biodata, all information, including where you want to vote, like he asked. This is a situation where you choose where you want to vote. This is a situation you choose when you want to come and get your fingerprint capture. So we have pre-registration. We have voter review, which is important. And I need to stress this. In this voter review, is as a voter. You voted before. And when you go to the field, they tell you your fingerprint did not match. Please review your voter, because this time you have to check whether your picture is the right picture, whether your documents, all the information given there are correct. If it is not, the portal will definitely tell you, please call to either the state, local government, and update your record. This is very key because our biometric will be stronger in the accreditation. The voter transfer is, of course, you registered before and you want to transfer. So all those people, like Shehu said, in terms of in the market, this system will give you, and I will demonstrate the voter transfer for you to understand. We also have information update. You need to know what is happening. We will be, this, like I said, this is interactive. Another issue we found out is the Pvc collection. People will do registration, they don't know when their PVC will be available and all this. So this time, based on information we're collecting from you, we'll be interacting with you through email, informing you that your PVC has been done, this is where it is, you can collect it. And when it's collected, we also send a mail to you to tell you it has been collected. And which means if any person collects your PVC, you can easily know and raise alarm. We also have PVC replacement. Your PVC may have been damaged for reasons which is natural. You inform us and we put it in our work. So let's go straight to pre-registration. So when you come to this
pre-registration for anybody in Nigeria by law,
yes,
the ripe age of voting is 18.
Years. Yes.
Correct. So anybody that is 18 as at the time this as at tomorrow.
As at tomorrow, not 18 in next year. It is only when you are 18 you go there.
But let's get clarity also, because some people are asking me the question. That they've gone to the portal, the cvr.inecnigeria.org and the cvr.inecnigeria.gov. They said it's not working.
Yeah, because we're launching tomorrow.
Yeah, so I just need them to know that.
Yeah, we're launching tomorrow.
All right, so this idea is also about 2023, basically, isn't it?
And beyond.
And beyond.
Yes.
Great. So let's go ahead.
So now, if you look at the 6 services I explained, you can see the new voter registration. You can see review, you can see transfer, you can see information update like after. So let's go to new voter registration and see how it goes. So first of all, it tells you the steps. Number 1, you fill the registration form, you choose the appointment, you generate application slip, you will see how we do it, and then you visit a biometric registration center, either in the state or local government. I will explain that. And you track that registration status online. Where are you? Have you been all this? It will be giving you in this information. So we still obey COVID-19 protocols, and then we can now say new registration. Look at this. This declaration is, some people, and let me read it out. I declare that all the information I provide regarding this process is true to the best of my knowledge, and that I may be subject to prosecution for providing false information. At our back end, we'll find many ways to get you, and we'll remind you that you did this declaration. I think they call it caveat emptor in law. So now, it gives you as a voter pre-registration. If you follow me very well, if you see any asterisk red, it means it's mandatory. And so I can put my name. My name is Wanfo, which is a last name. It's important. I go to first name, it's Chidi. It's important. Other names is not important, so I leave it. Date of birth, let me say 11th March. That was actually when I was born.
That's the day after mine.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
1920. And then I was born 1965.
Oh, yeah.
So you register because it's going to give you a drop-down so that you won't waste your time. Now, gender, which is important for us to have when we want to work on strata. If you notice, we have male, female, not specified, to consider what is going on in the world now.
Yeah.
So people say they're not male or female. So, but we consider.
But in Nigeria, Nigerian law has said there are only 2 genders, isn't it? So there is no. I mean, Mr. Okoye is a lawyer, but Nigeria, you are leaving space for those who are outside of the country. But in Nigeria, the constitution provides for 2 genders.
You do design.
Either you're male or you're female.
You do design to encompass all.
All.
That's how engineers work.
Okay.
Then when you now have occupation, because we need to check how many civil servants, business and student is mandatory. So let's say I'm a civil servant, and then I've taken it. Nationality is Nigeria. If you're not in Nigeria, you can't go ahead.
So a non-Nigerian cannot, under the law, if you're not a Nigerian, you cannot vote.
You cannot. So it gives me all my email is there, my level. Then I come again, additional information. You see, this thing is making this richer. So it goes to, let's say, tertiary, alias, if you want what other names that you may like. I don't need it. Then it goes to disability. We're still working on this, but it's still okay. We're looking at what the people living with disability, how they want it. But this is what we have. We are still interacting. We could still, So now, the question is to ask you after this, residence, where do you live? I live in Nigeria. State of residence. Let's say I'm living in Abia. Then local government, I pick my local. You see, you are doing this. Nobody's filling it for you. Let's say Abia North. Birth information, where you were born. Let's say I was born in Nigeria, because you can be born anywhere. State of birth, I was born in Kaduna, so I put Kaduna. And then local government, Kachi or whatever. So let me just put Jaba, anything, just for demonstration. So when you have finished it, it gives you origin information. Of course, your country of origin must be Nigeria. State of origin, I said Abia. Local government, I put Aba North. So I've captured all this. These are information that are very important for our harmonization with NIMSI.
Okay, so you are working hand in hand with NIMSI.
We're working.
Are you providing, do they have access to all the data?
No, we need to work on that. We are still working with them.
Okay, because I understand that there was a general committee that was supposed to have a handshake.
Yeah, we are there. So we are working with that, and then the commission will take decision on that. So place of origin, I can call Wama village, just a name. And that is my place of origin. After that, I move to what you call polling unit. This is the key. Where do you want to vote?
And that's asterisk too.
It's
so
asterisk,
it's critical.
it's mandatory, it's critical.
You need to decide.
So wherever I'm doing this, anywhere in the world, or Lagos or Abuja, but I said I want to vote. Let me now say, I want to vote also in Abia. So it asks you the state you want to vote, which is mandatory. You pick Abia. It asks you the local government. You pick Aba North. You are doing it by yourself. And then it asks you the registration ward, which is which ward. Let's say I want to do it in Eziama. And then when you put that Eziama, it will bring you the polling unit, both the old and the new created polling. So you make a choice by yourself.
So all the new polling units are also,
Yes,
they are in the portal now.
They are in the portal.
Fantastic.
So I look at the list is there. So I choose, let me choose railway quarters. And then I pick railway quarters. So I've finished about where do I want to vote. Now, supporting documents that are key that you can, it's not that mandatory, but we still need it if you have.
As a layer of verification, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And then when you have reached this, you've done first biodata and address and all this, you now go and say, save and continue. You've not finished.
Okay.
You see, it's asking me, it's telling me that I did not put my home address. So 23 Zambezi Crescent.
That's exactly not you're just using
Yeah,
one
just a test
for
there.
safety. Okay. Yeah.
So once I do that, I will check whether I missed any other one. It's not showing me. I will now save and continue. So this is a system that if you miss anything, it gets you back there.
Okay.
That's another critical. It says success. The pre-registration data.
So this
saved.
is the landing page for the
this
form
is the next
after.
stage.
This is the next stage.
After you have saved, and
Okay.
then you want to continue.
So because I could see two passports
yes,
there.
yes. It's telling you you need to upload your passport photos.
Oh.
Because you know you're going back. You can do this criminally, but you must see us back at the state office. So you need your picture, and it will capture the picture in a funny manner. I'll try it. I don't know about the light, but it will show.
Yeah.
Now, there are two ways to capture the feature. One, when my face is neutral. Two, when I am smiling. I wouldn't like to answer why. It's something we use at biometric at the back end, and also some of new things about ICAO standards. So you can see first, neutral, and then second, smiling face. May I remove my
Your heart.
my heart, even I can remove my glasses because it will read it. This is facial.
Okay.
So now I have to take a picture. You can see it. I have to make myself, show that this is test. I will just be neutral. I will capture. The next one is start camera. I need to smile here. Not bring your teeth, but just smile.
So that means that the devices that could be used for this purpose also has there is a requirement, basic requirement for these devices, the capabilities that these devices require before you can go through this process.
So it's uploading now, and it will check whether the pictures are okay. Let's pray the pictures are okay. If it's not okay, you see, he said, photo rejected. Because it could not detect full face. So you go back again. But because you are doing it within yourself, it may not, you are doing it in your house or home.
Yeah.
So we'll try to recapture. Yeah. So I'm sorry it's taking a little time, but
So you better smile properly this time around so that they can capture you once and for all.
So you start the camera again, and then take the picture. Let's even, I took with my camera.
With your glasses on.
Let me even look at it because I'm not.
So. All right. Updating.
It's uploading and updating. Still, what is it? I'm having an issue
with
this
your
particular
picture.
Yes.
And we cannot get past this.
You can't.
Okay.
But we'll get it. We'll get it through.
All right, but I was thinking that in that process, maybe we should, as you do that, maybe we can get through to the other side.
No, but let me also show voter transfer before you go.
Okay, great. All right.
Because at this stage, once you take the pictures and all this, it will schedule an appointment.
Okay.
Which is what I wanted to show. And once you schedule the appointment, it will show you how to schedule the appointment by bringing down the state where you want, in this period, you now have to do it at the state or the local government.
Okay.
And then it will give you the time. Take your time and choose a particular time and the particular. So it schedules the appointment like visa section. And so at that time, you need to be there. And
physically.
Physically. When you go there, you just capture your fingerprint. Within 3 minutes, fingerprint, which is, this is
the fingerprint capture.
The fingerprint scanner.
Okay.
And you will now see this system and also that kind of system, because this is IVET.
Okay, that's what you call the
INEC
voter registration online or enrollment device.
So
IVET.
with this...
So this is a new creation.
It's a new creation. This is the key. With this, it's mobile. It has more facility and more resources, even more than the DDs.
So you can charge this for a while?
Oh, you charge it.
Or it has to be...
First of all, this
powered.
System can use AC. It can use DC.
Okay.
It can use power. It can use charged.
Okay.
It can use battery.
Okay.
So we have facilities for that to stay as long as. And once we charge it, with our power, it can stay up to 10 to 12 hours.
Wow.
So we manage that.
Okay. For areas where electricity is not stable.
Yes.
So that when all of this is done.
When all of this is finished.
And gives you an appointment.
Yes.
Let's say the appointment is just about now.
Yes.
So what do we do?
No, once the appointment is given, for instance, you now go to the state or local government office. And what you do, because if this has passed, I was showing you, it gives you a QR code.
Okay.
And it gives you your application slip, number, and your face. You now take it to the local government and state office, and then they will now capture your fingerprint.
All right. So that's
number one.
All right.
They can also, what I want them to do, assuming you've not done this online, and you are just going, you can go physically, and they capture all this.
They do all of this for you?
All of this.
Okay.
So you have facility for online, you also have facility for physical.
So what exactly is happening or what is that? It does look like what is used for SIM registration, isn't it? But put us through that quickly.
Yes.
What we have over
What
there.
you have there is you still have the scanner, you still have the printer, you still have the system, you can have the laptop, and also this system in the state and the local government office. So when you come, they fill in all your data,
Okay.
snap you,
Okay.
and capture your fingerprint, and you go. This is physical. Assuming you've done online, you go there, they capture your fingerprint and your face, and you go.
All right. Can we see that happen just quickly? If you can just take us through that. Because, you know, the interesting part of it is when people's mind are prepared towards this, then it gives them an idea of just how many minutes they will spend. For a lot of people now know that they can do this on their own, and the next thing is going over there. So what is happening on that side?
Okay.
Can Mr. Wanfok put us through?
Okay, what is happening is that, let's assume I have a staff who is with the system, and the person that is there is the voter. So can you do physical registration, and then let's see how it looks? It won't take more than 5 minutes.
Okay, no, we don't have. We have actually 1 minute for that.
So what we want to do is just to capture the fingerprint.
Let's capture the.
So we assume he has
fingerprint.
done his online registration,
Great.
and then we
Yeah.
can capture his fingerprint.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the portal again is cvr.inecnigeria.org or cvr.inecnigeria.ng, isn't it?
Yes, .gov.ng.
.gov.ng. So you need to put this in mind. I mean, have this in mind. So are we good to capture now?
Yes, we're good.
So it requires the 10 fingers, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So we are done with the capture.
So after the capture, that's all.
Yes, and thank God I took a picture when you were asking,
Okay.
so that we'll just round it up if they can get the screen.
Okay.
The pictures have, they said now quality check passed,
Okay.
and then you continue process. Because this is key.
Okay.
When you now continue, say status, awaiting completion and submission. So if you look at by the side, you see that my picture, you see pre-registration. That is the key. That's this registration slip. So once I finish all this, you can see my record, and you have the right to look at it and possible change. And then the next thing you see, schedule appointment, which is the key I was trying to explain.
Fantastic.
Once you now want to schedule appointment, it gives you state, it gives you registration center. You choose by yourself. It gives you even the appointment date. Let me know the state is there. Choose the local government. I won't take time. Just choose anything so that you see it. And then you go to the appointment. Once you go to the appointment, it gives you a list and time.
Okay.
And you choose anyone, you are done. So what it means is that you now go to the state with the application slip or the local government, and then you will be captured what they have done there. So it gives you this. It tells you submitted appointment schedule.
All right.
And you're done.
So for some people who are already reacting, going through this, especially those in diaspora,
Yes.
they are itching to get through this.
Yes.
But the other part is the physical part.
Yes.
So you can do this, and between now and 2023, you can complete the physical, isn't it?
Let me say this. We have time for you, for instance, if you are in the portal, I know you could take time. We give 14 days for you to delay, make mistake, and then 14 days, you put up your registration. But you must choose a date. So it is advised that, because we're working on 45 days or so, it's advised if you're abroad and you are coming back to Nigeria, do it within that window so that once you come, you go to state office or go to local government and do it.
All right. So, Mr. Okoye, they are to visit, Nigerians are to visit cvr.inec.gov.ng or cvr.inecnigeria.org, and it is live tomorrow.
7 a.m., yes.
I must sincerely thank both of you. We've taken this upon ourselves at Channels Television as our own responsibility to our viewers that anytime they're watching this program, they have the benefit of a lot of information, and that's exactly what we've done INEC out tonight to give them a sense of what is happening tomorrow. But I must sincerely thank you for creating that time, Mr. Nwanfo and Mr. Okoye. Thank you so much indeed. And of course, our friends at INEC, thank you so much, gentlemen and lady. Thank you so much. Well, that's our show for today. And if you are ready to get to vote in Nigeria, you've heard and you've seen the demonstration, the simulation of what will happen from tomorrow. But that's our show today. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.